Can INFP and INFP relationships work? Coming up in this video. What's up, legend? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology, where I help geeks, gamers, and creatives to play life better. Using personality type can be a great thing for relationships, for understanding relationships, for knowing your input within the system of a relationship. And also, it can be something that people get really hung up on. Like, people are just like, I need to date this personality type because other people say it works out really well, or I have some infatuation with INFPs or whatever it is. And it can be good when it's good, but it's kind of like a guideline, right? Like, not everybody is going to fit into that perfect model of what you imagine the personality type is based on the stereotypes and things that you've learned. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're going through this process and as you're thinking about what you want from a relationship. So if you're an INFP and you're watching this video, because I would imagine you're the only ones that are watching this video, right? I mean, I don't think too many other types would be watching can an INFP date an INFP video. But you might be looking for someone who is like you, right? You're just like, I barely understand myself. I really try. And I know that everybody else is just like all over the place. And I'm just going to pick somebody who at least thinks like me, right? That can be a good thing. Or maybe you're in a relationship with another INFP and you're just like, how can I make this work? Because we're kind of crossing over each other's values and I was going to say morals, but probably not, but values and like desires and just habits and things like that. So how can you make it work? First up, I want to just say, like, I've dated at least a couple INFPs. I know of one specifically, and several ISFPs as well. And like, it was okay. It was okay. There was an innate kind of connection, right? On some sort of identity level. Like, we're both just like, we're cool people, we're chill, like, we're going to be okay with whatever happens. You do you, I do me. And that's cool. We can give each other space to, to do whatever we want to do. But it didn't last because there wasn't too much like attraction in that sense. It was like, we're okay being next to each other and being here, but there wasn't this like deep felt innate appeal through that, whatever the attractive mechanisms are. And like, I was invited to her wedding and stuff like that because, I think in general, INFPs, maybe this is just my experience, but we're kind of like, if I've dated you once or if you've come into my life, generally, like, that was for a reason, that was for a purpose. I don't want to just cut those connections or anything like that, and just forget that you were even a part of my life, because your involvement in my life made me who I am in some way. And hopefully that's through positive lessons or through either taking the negative lessons and wrapping them with gratitude, or doing some sort of mental gymnastics to make it work and make the relationship a positive influence on your life. So one of the issues that you're probably going to have with dating somebody of your same type is that you're double stacking, you're doubling up on the same way of looking at the world and the same way of making decisions, and also the same weaknesses, the same strengths in ways. And yes, they all have different facets to them. They have different dynamics, and if you zoom in on a granular level, they're going to be different. Right? My values are not going to be the exact same as yours because they are unique to me. And yet, you're going to go with like a lot of that sameness. And that can be good, but for me personally, like, I want some exploration in my life. I want a bit of change. I want not necessarily drama. I don't want drama, but I want some sort of excitement. And a lot of that comes from being different or seeing the world in a different way and having different perspectives to bounce off of. Because even within yourself, if you are just searching for the same perspectives to fulfill this confirmation bias that you have about something, You're not going to grow. You're not going to change. You're not going to make the world better. You're not going to make your life better. It's just going to be the same. And so you need to find a way of having some sort of catalyst, some sort of like drive or outside force, or, set up a system, which is probably going to be difficult anyway, because, we're not too great at systems. But some sort of thing that's going to like infuse some sort of extra joy and excitement and springboarding and adventure or whatever it is into your life. It could even be like a book club or something like that. If you want to go down to like what's enjoyment and exploration on a low key level, it could be that. It could be going out and doing like, I don't know, dance night or pottery night or something like that too. Or it could just be that like zany ESTP friend or ESFP friend or something like that that's there to just shake things up in your life. And so I highly suggest having some sort of outside influence to spark things, to spice things up in some way. Another thing is, as I mentioned before, you're going to have the same strengths, but you're also going to have the same weaknesses. And what this means for an INFP relationship is that you kind of double up on the guardian, introverted sensing, and the commander, extroverted thinking. So what I mean by that is you're going to be really attached to the past in a lot of ways. You're going to be creating this structure through maintaining consistency, right? And that's why you need that spice, that extra excitement or something like that, because you're going to get into this pattern of like, this is just what we do. This is what happens. We do spaghetti night every night because we like spaghetti. And there's not going to be a lot of variety in that. And also that comes with your internal baggage and issues and habits and things like that too, where you're kind of just probably holding on to the past in a lot of ways that might not be the most beneficial for the relationship. And in terms on doubling up on the commander, this is that zone of strategy of about setting goals and pushing forward towards those goals and, moving your emotions. Oops, I just touched the mic. Moving your emotions to the side, right? And just doing the things that you need to do to progress your life, right? To make some sort of impact and taking actions and stuff like that. And that is going to be hard. Maybe one of you is a little bit better than the other at it. That's good. But it's going to be generally kind of a weakness or a struggle or an issue that you're going to run into. Like, how do you delegate the tasks between you two? Somebody's got to step up and do it, or it might not get done, right? Just based on my own experiences, if somebody doesn't tell me to do it, it's probably not going to happen. And so keep that in mind. Like when you're talking about house duties and things like that, like it might be a bit of a struggle to keep the place clean, to maintain some sort of stability and structure, and also be working towards things that are going to make your life better so that you're not kind of stagnant, because you're both probably going to struggle with that in some ways. So finding ways of, maybe your fun thing could be taking business courses together or something like that. I don't know. Or it's maybe setting up a to-do list together of different things that you want to achieve, kind of like a bucket list, but maybe not to that level, but it could be. And adding some sort of, necessity to it, some intention, some attachment to it, so that you both are pushing each other outside of your comfort zone, so that you're both stretching yourselves to make your emergent fusion of you two as a being, right? You become a higher identity, making that a bigger impact on the world. And I know I talk a lot about making an impact on the world, and I know not everybody wants to. Some people are just like, I just want to have my cabin in the woods and have my 3 cats or whatever and just be reading a book and drinking some tea all day. Like that's what I want to do. And if so, that's fine. That's you, that's your thing, that's your impact in some way. But I generally feel that INFPs can be so much more, can do so much more, can make such a change in the world. And yet a lot of us are just in our own ways. We get stuck We stop ourselves. We have this, self-hate and self-destructive habits and stuff like that. We don't trust ourselves. And that's why I hound on it so much, because it's been something that's really transformed my life and hopefully your life as well. And if you want to know more about how to live a better life as an INFP, go to inowfeelpositive.com, inowfeelpositive.com. Watch the webinar, sign up. You'll be involved in the newsletter as well. We do monthly INFP meetups and things like that too. We got a big community of like 600 or so in our Discord chat server. So come in there and really just start to learn about yourself, start to learn how these different personified cognitive functions, these characters within you, act and build rapport with them so that you can align yourself, so that you can have that laser beam focus of what you want to do in your life and the kind of legacy that you want to live. And in terms of relationships, whatever you choose, know that personality type is not the only thing, right? People are a bunch of stuff. Their past experiences, their state, their future drives, and all these other things. And that personality type is a great model, but it is just a model, okay? It's just a way of understanding the world. It's just a pattern, right? So take that with a grain of salt, but, really be aware of your interactions with other people and kind of how you're doubling up on the same things in terms of strengths and weaknesses and some of the blind spots that are going to come about through that. Keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck, have fun. Peace. And I know I talk a lot about